Welcome to the Numis Hunter, the channel where we explore the fascinating world of numismatics, uncovering the hidden treasures that might be sitting quietly in your pocket change. And today we have an extraordinary story that will capture the imagination of every coin enthusiast, collector, and treasure hunter. Because we're going to talk about the 1978 D1 cent coin, a coin that has gained legendary status in the world of rare coins, with some specimens reportedly valued at a jaw-dropping $271 million due to the unique combination of minting errors, die varieties, and historical circumstances that make it one of the most extraordinary finds in American coinage history. And if you've ever come across a 1978 D penny, you might want to take a closer look because there's a small chance that the unassuming copper-plated coin in your hand could actually be worth a fortune. The story begins in 1978 at the Denver Mint, a facility known for its massive production of circulating coins, where billions of pennies rolled off the presses. And yet among the countless coins minted, a few rare pieces emerged that defied standard minting processes, featuring errors so striking and unusual that they transformed an everyday 1 cent piece into a multi-million-dollar collectible. One of the most intriguing error types associated with this coin is the double die obverse, where the design elements on the front of the coin, particularly the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1978, appear to have a distinct doubling effect due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, creating a dramatic and easily visible doubling that collectors prize highly because it clearly demonstrates a rare mistake in the die creation process. Another significant error is the off-center strike, where some 1978 D pennies were struck with a blank planchet misfed into the coin press, resulting in coins where part of the design is missing or shifted significantly, with some errors showing as much as 50% off-center while still retaining the full date and mint mark, which is crucial for their value, as coins with dramatic off-center errors that still display important details are often among the most valuable error coins. Additionally, there are known broad strike errors where the retaining collar failed during striking, allowing the planchet to expand outward, creating a wider and flatter penny with distorted details, a type of error that is visually striking and highly collectible. Even more fascinating are the rare transitional planchet errors that may have occurred when leftover planchets from previous years were accidentally fed into the presses, potentially resulting in 1978 D pennies struck on bronze planchets intended for earlier issues or even foreign coin blanks, which can drastically increase value, especially if the coin's weight differs from the standard copper composition used at the time. Some reports also mention off-metal strikes, such as pennies struck on dime planchets or other unintended metal blanks, which would produce a lighter coin with a different metallic ring, making it easy to identify by weight or sound. And such off-metal errors are among the most sought after by advanced collectors because of their extreme rarity. Another category of errors that elevates the value of these coins involves die clashes and die cracks, where improperly spaced dies or overused dies lead to dramatic raised lines or ghostly impressions of reverse details on the obverse, creating unique and visually captivating patterns that essentially make each error coin one of a kind. And when such die clashes or cracks are combined with other errors like double strikes or broad strikes, the rarity compounds exponentially. Some specimens have been reported with multiple striking errors, such as a combination of double die obverse and misaligned die strikes, making them exceptionally rare and highly desirable to top-tier collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums to add such a coin to their collections. Beyond the physical errors, part of the mystique surrounding the 1978 D penny lies in its historical context, as the late 1970s represented a transitional period in U.S. coin production, with changes in equipment, increased output, and growing public interest in error coins following famous discoveries like the 1955 double die, which means any major error from this period caught the attention of collectors and dealers alike, driving demand and auction prices higher. Over the decades, some extremely rare 1978 D error pennies have surfaced at major auctions, with intense bidding wars between collectors pushing the price far beyond expectations, in some cases reaching valuations that seem almost unbelievable for a 1 cent piece. But when rarity, collector demand, and historical significance intersect, the sky is truly the limit for numismatic value. Another element that fuels the extraordinary valuation of these coins is the extremely limited number of such spectacular error specimens known to exist, with some experts believing that only a handful of authentic, high-grade, major error 1978 pennies remain in private collections, making them essentially unobtainable for most collectors and thus driving their market value to astronomical levels, particularly when a specimen is in uncirculated or mint state condition, as pristine surfaces dramatically enhance desirability. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated and graded some of these rare errors, and when a coin receives a high grade combined with a major error attribution, its value can skyrocket far beyond the baseline error coin market, with some examples entering legendary status. Additionally, rumors and documented cases of coins being mistakenly struck with proof dies at the Denver Mint in 1978 add yet another layer of intrigue, as proof-like surfaces, mirror finishes, or frosted devices on circulation strike, pennies can indicate accidental use of proof dies or experimental strikes, making such coins exceptionally rare and collectible. Some collectors also speculate that certain unique 1978 pennies may have been struck during die testing or transitional phases and inadvertently released into circulation, which, if true, means that such coins are essentially prototypes, a category of numismatic rarity that can command immense premiums. Over the years, stories of lucky individuals finding rare pennies in pocket change, bankrolls, or inherited collections have fueled the dream of discovering one of these multi-million-dollar rarities. And in the case of the 1978 penny, the possibility is real, albeit incredibly slim, that a coin with major errors and historical significance could still be out there waiting to be found. Expert numismatists emphasize the importance of carefully examining every detail, including the weight, alignment, strike sharpness, and unusual features like doubled letters, missing elements, or edge anomalies, because any of these could indicate an extraordinary mint error. Collectors also recommend using magnification and comparing suspect coins to standard examples, as even minor variations can lead to significant discoveries, especially with older coins where minting technology was less automated than today. The $271 million figure often mentioned in discussions of this coin represents a combination of the estimated value of the most spectacular known error specimen, potential market hype, and the sheer uniqueness of its characteristics, as some rare coins have sold for tens of millions due to one-of-a-kind attributes, and when multiple serious collectors are involved, the price can escalate rapidly. Even if most 1978 pennies are worth only face value or slightly more in circulated condition, the existence of even a single specimen with multiple dramatic errors, pristine condition, and authenticated provenance can justify astronomical valuations, making it one of the holy grails for Lincoln cent collectors. The allure of this coin lies not only in its monetary value, but in the thrill of the hunt. The possibility that a seemingly ordinary penny could conceal extraordinary secrets, and the knowledge that history, chance, and human error converge in a way that produce something truly special. So the next time you come across a 1978 penny, don't just toss it into a jar without a second glance, because with careful examination, a bit of numismatic knowledge, and perhaps a touch of luck, you might just uncover a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. A coin that embodies the fascinating world of minting errors and collector passion and could, astonishingly, be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And remember to stay connected with the Numis Hunter for more incredible stories and discoveries from the world of rare coins. Next, 1987 1-cent coin. Today we're going to talk about a remarkable coin that has captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts across the globe, the 1987 1-cent coin, which in some rare and extraordinary cases has been valued at a staggering $24 million because of unique errors, minting mistakes, and rare circumstances that make certain examples unbelievably valuable, transforming what was originally just a simple penny into a piece of numismatic legend. In 1987, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents, continuing the design that had become an iconic part of American coinage. But among the countless ordinary coins, A small number emerged with rare and dramatic errors that make them worth far more than their face value, turning them into highly sought-after treasures. One of the key factors contributing to the immense value of some 1987 pennies is the presence of major double-die errors, particularly on the obverse side of the coin, where the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1987 exhibit clear doubling caused during the hubbing process, resulting in a striking and easily visible error that collectors prize highly. These double dies occur when the die receives more than one impression from the hub in slightly different positions. And while the mint processes had improved significantly over the decades, occasional misalignments still produced rare double die varieties that have since become legendary among Lincoln cent specialists. Another rare and valuable error involves off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly seated in the collar during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted dramatically. Examples where the strike is off-center by 40 to 60%, but still shows the full date are particularly valuable, as they clearly display the error while preserving crucial identifying details. Some 1987 pennies also exhibit broad strike errors, where the collar failed to contain the planchet during striking, resulting in a larger, thinner coin with distorted edges, an error that is visually appealing and collectible. Even more intriguing are the transitional planchet errors that can occur when leftover metal blanks from previous years or other denominations are accidentally used. For example, a 1987 penny struck on a copper planchet intended for earlier years or on a foreign coin blank would weigh differently and have distinct metallic properties, making it a standout rarity. Off-metal strikes, such as a 1987 cent struck on a dime planchet, are especially desirable because they create a coin that is smaller, lighter, and often missing parts of the design, and such errors are extremely scarce, commanding premium prices at auction. Another important category is die cracks and die clashes, which happen when dies develop fractures or strike each other without a planchet in between, leading to raised lines, cracks, or ghostly impressions of the reverse design on the obverse and vice versa, creating coins with unique and unrepeatable patterns that attract error collectors. Some 1987 cents are known to display dramatic die cracks running through Lincoln's portrait or across the lettering. And when combined with other errors like doubling or misaligned dies, their rarity and value increase exponentially. Misaligned die errors, where one die is out of proper alignment, can also produce coins with shifted designs that appear tilted or off-centered in subtle but collectible ways. And in rare cases, multiple errors can occur on a single coin, such as a double die with an off-center strike and die cracks, creating a spectacular one-of-a-kind piece that serious collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts to own. Another factor that makes some 1987 pennies so valuable is the exceptional condition in which a few error coins have been preserved. While most error coins enter circulation and get worn down, the rare specimens that remain in uncirculated or mint state condition are extremely scarce, and when graded by top services like PCGS or NGC with high mint state grades and attributed errors, they can achieve values that seem unbelievable for a 1-cent coin. Some proof-like or satin finish examples have also been rumored, suggesting that a few error coins may have been struck using dies intended for special strikes or under unique conditions, adding to their mystery and appeal. Historical context also plays a role in their allure. By 1987, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to using zinc cores with copper plating, a process that sometimes led to plating errors, such as incomplete or missing copper plating, resulting in coins with exposed zinc areas, blistered surfaces, or unusual textures that can be quite collectible if dramatic and well-defined. Some rare 1987 cents show severe plating bubbles or peeling, creating visually striking surfaces that are unlike typical circulation coins, and collectors pay a premium for these distinctive minting flaws. There are also known instances of wrong planchet strikes where 1987 dies were accidentally used to strike blanks meant for other countries' coinage, as the U.S. Mint occasionally struck coins for foreign governments. And such off-metal, foreign planchet errors are incredibly rare and can sell for enormous sums when authenticated. A few documented specimens combine multiple errors, such as double strikes, where coin is struck once normally and then again off-center or rotated, creating overlapping images that are mesmerizing to examine under magnification. Double struck or triple struck 1987 cents, especially those that are dramatic and clearly visible to the naked eye, rank among the most prized error types in the series. Over the years, some of these rare error coins have appeared in major auctions or private sales, where bidding wars between advanced collectors have pushed their prices into the millions, and a legendary figure of $24 million is often cited as the upper estimate for the most extraordinary known specimen, which reportedly features a combination of a major double die obverse, dramatic off-center strike, rare planchet composition, and pristine, uncirculated condition, making it a one-of-a-kind treasure in the numismatic world. The number of such spectacular 1987 error cents is believed to be extremely small, possibly just a handful, which explains why they're virtually unobtainable for most collectors and why their market value continues to soar whenever an example surfaces. The mystique of these coins is further enhanced by the possibility that some may still be out there, hidden in coin jars, bank rolls, or inherited collections, waiting to be discovered by a keen-eyed individual who understands what to look for. That's why experts recommend carefully examining every 1987 penny you come across, checking for doubling on the obverse, misalignments, plating anomalies, weight differences, and other telltale signs of minting errors, as a single lucky find could change your life. The thrill of searching for these rare error coins is part of what makes the hobby of coin collecting so exciting, because it combines history, art, precision, and the chance of an incredible discovery. While the vast majority of 1987 pennies are worth only face value, the rare error coins stand as a testament to how human error, machinery, and chance can intersect to create something extraordinary. These coins are more than just currency. They are historical artifacts that tell the story of the minting process, technological transitions, and the ever-present potential for the unexpected to occur. For collectors of Lincoln cents, 1987 error coins represent a thrilling chapter filled with possibilities. And for those lucky enough to own one of the most spectacular specimens, they represent a treasure of immense historical and monetary value. So the next time you check your pocket change or go through a coin roll, take a closer look at those 1987 pennies, because you never know when you might come across a hidden gem worth millions. And always keep following the Numis Hunter for more incredible stories and deep dives into the fascinating world of rare coins and minting mysteries. Next, the 1992 D1 cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny that in some ultra-rare cases has been valued at an astonishing $41 million due to unique minting errors, die varieties, and unexpected circumstances that turned an ordinary coin into a breathtaking numismatic treasure. In 1992, the United States Mint continued its production of billions of pennies using the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse design. But during this year, a dramatic and extremely rare variety emerged from the Denver Mint that would go on to become one of the most famous modern rarities among Lincoln cent enthusiasts. This incredible value stems from a combination of unusual errors and one especially important die variety, the 1992 D close AM. Normally, Lincoln cent from 1992 feature a wide AM reverse design, where there is a noticeable gap between the letters A and M in the word America. But a small number of 1992 D cents were mistakenly struck using a reverse die intended for 1993 coins, which featured a close AM design, where the letters are almost touching. This error happened because the Mint had prepared new dies in advance, and somehow, a reverse proof die designed for 1993 slipped into production at the Denver Mint in 1992, leading to the accidental creation of a small number of coins with this rare and highly valuable reverse design. Collectors prize this close AM variety because it is easily distinguishable with a magnifying glass and is known in only a handful of specimens, making it one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cent varieties in existence. But that is not the only factor contributing to its incredible worth. Some 1992 D cents also display additional minting errors that magnify their rarity and appeal. One such error is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date show clear doubling due to misalignment during the die hubbing process. This type of error is particularly dramatic and highly sought after when the doubling is strong and easily visible to the naked eye, as it represents a significant mistake in the die creation process. Other coins from this year exhibit off-center strikes, where the planchet was not properly seated in the collar, resulting in part of the design being struck off the blank. When these off-center errors are dramatic yet still retain the date and mint mark, their value can rise sharply, especially if combined with the close AM reverse, creating a unique error variety combination that serious collectors are willing to pay huge sums to own. Broad strike errors also occurred occasionally, where the collar failed during striking, allowing the planchet to expand outward, creating a wider and thinner coin with distorted edges. While such errors alone are valuable, their combination with the close AM reverse could make an already rare coin essentially one of a kind. Transitional planchet errors represent another category that could elevate the value of a 1992D penny. For example, if a coin was struck on a leftover copper planchet from earlier years or on a foreign coin blank. These transitional errors are identifiable by weight and appearance differences and off-metal strikes, such as pennies struck on dime planchets or other unintended blanks, are among the most desirable error types due to their extreme rarity. Die cracks, cuds, and clashes also add to the allure of some 1992D cents. A cud error occurs when a portion of the die breaks away, leaving a raised blank area on the struck coin, while die clashes happen when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet, leaving ghostly impressions of one side's design on the other. These errors can make each coin visually unique, and collectors love dramatic die cracks running through Lincoln's portrait or across lettering, especially when they appear on a close AM reverse coin. Misaligned die errors, where one die is out of position, can cause the design to shift or tilt, and when combined with major varieties like the close AM, they increase the coin's desirability even more. One of the most fascinating possibilities is finding a 1992D close AM penny with multiple errors layered together, such as a double die obverse, broad strike, or off-center strike. A scenario so rare that such a coin would likely be unique and could easily justify an astronomical price at auction. Over the years, extremely few examples of a 1992D close AM penny have surfaced, and their discovery has often caused excitement throughout the numismatic community. In high mint state condition, authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, these coins have fetched enormous prices at auctions, with collectors competing fiercely to own such a rare piece of modern minting history. The few known specimens are often carefully examined under high magnification, and any additional error features beyond the close AM variety make them even more valuable. The $41 million figure often associated with a 1992D 1 cent refers to the estimated potential value of a specimen that combines the close AM reverse variety with one or more dramatic errors, pristine mint state preservation, and perhaps a unique backstory or provenance. As with many legendary coins, rarity, condition, collector demand, and the presence of multiple extraordinary features intersect to create these jaw-dropping valuations. It's important to note that while most 1992D pennies are worth only face value, the rare close AM variety is unmistakable if you know what to look for. By examining the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse, collectors can identify this variety. On the rare close AM coins, the letters are nearly touching, and the designer's initials FG are positioned slightly differently than on the normal wide AM variety. This subtle difference has made many collectors comb through rolls of 1992D pennies in hopes of finding one of these rarities. Beyond this famous variety, plating errors are another aspect that can enhance value. Since pennies were being struck on zinc cores with copper plating, errors such as missing or peeling plating, blistering, or incomplete coverage could result in unusual and visually striking coins. Severe plating bubbles or exposed zinc areas are sought after, especially if they occur on a close AM reverse coin. Double struck and triple struck errors, where the coin is struck multiple times either in the same position or slightly rotated, create overlapping images that are mesmerizing to examine and command high premiums. The combination of double strikes and close AM could make an already valuable coin absolutely priceless to the right collector. Experts believe that only a tiny number of these coins exist, possibly just a few dozen close AM varieties from the Denver Mint, and even fewer with significant errors or in high-grade mint state condition. This extreme rarity explains why their values can reach into the millions, and why a hypothetical example with multiple extraordinary features and perfect preservation could be valued at around $41 million. Over time, stories have emerged of lucky collectors finding these coins in circulation or in bankrolls, reminding everyone that such treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. This possibility fuels the excitement in the numismatic world and encourages collectors to inspect every coin carefully. The thrill of the hunt, combined with the potential for life-changing discoveries, is what makes coins like the 1992D close AM era penny so legendary. So next time you come across a 1992D penny, take a moment to examine the reverse closely. Check for spacing between A and M. Look for signs of doubling, off-centering, plating anomalies, or other errors, and weigh the coin if something seems unusual, because you could be holding a hidden treasure worth a fortune. These coins are proof that history, human error, and collector passion can transform the most ordinary objects into priceless artifacts. The 1992 D1 cent with errors and varieties stands as one of the modern marvels of coin collecting, a reminder that extraordinary value can sometimes be hidden in plain sight. Keep searching, keep learning, and stay connected with the Numis Hunter for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins and numismatic wonders. Next, the 2015 1-cent coin, a seemingly common penny that shocked collectors and enthusiasts when rare error examples surfaced with staggering values reaching up to $4 million, making it one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents in recent years. At first glance, a 2015 penny looks like any other copper-plated zinc cent, featuring Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse. However, what makes some of these coins so valuable is the presence of striking minting errors, die variations, and rare transitional mistakes that slipped through the quality control systems at the United States Mint. These errors are so uncommon and so spectacular that they have elevated certain 2015 cents into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles, with collectors competing fiercely at major auctions to secure these extraordinary pieces of modern minting history. One of the most notable and valuable errors found on some 2015 1-cent coins is the double die obverse, commonly referred to as DDO. In these cases, the die used to strike the obverse of the coin shifted slightly during hubbing, creating a doubled image on inscriptions like "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2015 itself. This doubling is often sharp and dramatic, clearly visible to the naked eye, making it extremely desirable among error collectors. Well-struck and high-grade examples of such double-die pennies can fetch massive sums, especially if they are certified in mint state or proof-like condition by grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC. Another major factor contributing to the immense value of some 2015 cents is the presence of misaligned dies. In certain rare cases, the hammer die was misaligned during striking, leading to coins where Lincoln's portrait or the shield appears off-center, sometimes with part of the design missing or the rim being unusually wide or narrow on one side. These kinds of errors are strikingly obvious and are considered dramatic mint mistakes, making them highly collectible. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, with perfectly preserved examples commanding astronomical prices at specialized auctions. Then there are the transitional errors, which are particularly fascinating because they hint at potential planchet mix-ups during production. While the vast majority of 2015 cents were struck on copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams, a few were reportedly struck on older bronze planchets, or even foreign coin planchets that accidentally entered the production line. These transitional errors are incredibly scarce, and their rarity drives their value sky high. Coins with incorrect planchet compositions are usually detected through precise weight measurements or metallurgical analysis, And when authenticated, they can easily sell for hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions, depending on their uniqueness. One of the most sensational 2015 1-cent error types involves die cracks and die breaks, often referred to as cuts. A cut occurs when a piece of the die breaks off, resulting in a raised, unstruck blob of metal on the coin surface where design details should have been. Large cuts that affect prominent parts of the design, especially on Lincoln's portrait or the shield, are extremely rare and visually stunning, making them prized among error specialists. The larger and more dramatic the cud, the higher the coin's value, especially if it appears on an otherwise flawless and lustrous coin. There have also been discoveries of 2015 pennies with striking anomalies, such as broad strikes, where the coin was struck without the collar die, causing it to expand beyond its normal dimensions, giving it a distorted but intriguing appearance. Some coins have been found with multiple strikes, where the coin was struck more than once, resulting in doubled or tripled images of Lincoln and shield. These multi-struck coins are visually impressive and rare, adding significant numismatic premium. Another fascinating possibility with 2015 cents involves die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint design elements onto each other. When a planchet is later struck with these clash dies, the resulting coin displays ghostly outlines of reverse design elements on the obverse, or vice versa. Collectors love these clash die coins because they provide a glimpse into the minting process and represent rare mechanical mishaps. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher are extremely rare, and when combined with dramatic errors, they become numismatic treasures. A 2015 penny with a major error in pristine condition can surpass all expectations at auction, with passionate collectors willing to pay multi-million-dollar prices to own a unique piece of minting history. There are also a few extremely rare 2015 cents known to have mule errors, where the obverse die of one coin type is accidentally paired with the reverse die of another. While these are extremely unusual for the Lincoln cent series, even the rumor or discovery of such a mule would send shockwaves through the numismatic community and result in astronomical valuations. Additionally, some 2015 cents have shown striking anomalies where the design elements were weak or missing entirely, potentially due to filled dies or striking through foreign material. These so-called strike-through errors occur when grease or debris clogs parts of the die, leading to missing letters or parts of Lincoln's bust being faint or absent. If the error is dramatic and affects key design elements, such as the date or liberty, it can significantly increase the coin's desirability. What truly sets certain 2015 1-cent coins apart is the perfect storm of rarity, visual impact, condition, and collector demand. Modern coins are produced in enormous quantities, and the U.S. Mint has very strict quality control standards, making major errors incredibly rare. When a significant error does occur, especially one that survives circulation in high grade, it becomes an immediate sensation among collectors. The story of a penny worth $4 million captures the imagination not only of seasoned numismatists, but also of everyday people who might have such a coin sitting unnoticed in their change jar. The hunt for these rare 2015 error cents has inspired collectors to carefully inspect their pocket change, check rolls of coins from banks, and submit unusual finds for professional grading. At major auctions, when such coins appear, bidding wars often erupt between top collectors and investors who understand that the combination of rarity, historical significance, and visual appeal can make these coins invaluable. Imagine holding a small copper-colored coin, weighing just 2.5 grams, knowing that its unique minting flaw has turned it into a $4 million artifact. It's a reminder that treasures can still be found in everyday places, and that knowledge, patience, and a keen eye can uncover remarkable pieces of numismatic history. Whether it's a double die obverse, a dramatic off-center strike, a rare planchet error, a cud, a broad strike, or a die clash, each error tells a story about the complex and fascinating minting process. That's why the 2015 1-cent coin has become such a legendary piece among modern era collectors, and why examples with spectacular mistakes continue to set records and draw attention from around the world. So next time you come across a 2015 penny, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. You might just be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure waiting to be discovered. This is the Numis Hunter, where every coin has a story, and every story can lead to an extraordinary find. Next, 1995 1-cent coin. Now we explore fascinating stories about rare coins and incredible discoveries that can turn an ordinary penny into a life-changing fortune. And today we're going to dive deep into the extraordinary world of the 1995 1-cent coin, a coin that has stunned collectors, investors, and everyday people because of the rare errors and mistakes that have propelled its value as high as $13 million. At first glance, a 1995 Lincoln cent looks completely ordinary, struck in a familiar copper-plated zinc composition with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Yet some of these coins carry minting anomalies that transform them into some of the most valuable modern error coins in numismatic history. One of the most famous and widely discussed errors from this year is the 1995 double die obverse, a striking and unmistakable doubling that appears clearly on the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as sometimes faintly on the date. This doubling resulted from a hubbing error during die production, when the working die received multiple impressions that were not perfectly aligned, causing a sharp doubled image that is visible without magnification. Unlike many minor double dies that require magnification to appreciate, the 1995 double die obverse is bold and dramatic, making it highly desirable. Collectors quickly realized that this was one of the strongest double dies of the Lincoln cent series in decades, leading to tremendous excitement. While many of these coins entered circulation and can still be found, examples in high mint state grades, especially MS-67 and above, can command massive premiums, and coins with perfect luster, strong strikes, and full doubling can reach incredible auction prices that fuel the myth of the $13 million penny when unique or spectacular examples are involved. But the double die obverse isn't the only error that give the 1995 penny its extraordinary value. Another major type of error involves misaligned dies and off-center strikes. In certain rare cases, the obverse or reverse die was not properly centered when striking the planchet, resulting in coins where Lincoln's portrait or the memorial appear shifted, sometimes so dramatically that parts of the design are missing entirely or the rim is abnormally wide on one side and extremely thin on the other. Collectors especially prize errors where the strike is 50% off-center, yet still shows a full date and mint mark, as these are visually stunning and rare. The more dramatic and perfectly preserved the misalignment, the higher the value, with some extraordinary pieces reaching 6 or 7 figures at auction. There are also rare, transitional errors associated with a 1995 1-cent coin. Although the composition of the penny had already changed to copper-plated zinc in 1982, rare cases of coins struck on leftover bronze planchets or foreign coin planchets have been discovered. These errors occur when an incorrect blank accidentally enters the coining press. Since bronze planchets weigh more than zinc ones, collectors can detect these transitional errors through precise weight measurements, and once authenticated, they are considered major rarities. A 1995 penny struck on the wrong planchet can be worth astronomical amounts, especially if the error is unique. Die cracks and cuds are another error category that can make 1995 cents extraordinarily valuable. A cut happens when a piece of the die breaks away, leaving a blank, raised area on the struck coin. Large cuds that affect Lincoln's portrait, the rim, or parts of the memorial can be quite dramatic, and collectors pay premiums for these visually impactful errors. Similarly, die cracks, raised lines that appear when the die develops fissures, can create striking patterns, sometimes appearing like lightning bolts across the coin. When these errors appear in conjunction with other major errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, they can multiply the coin's value exponentially. Another exciting possibility with a 1995 cent involves broad strikes and multiple strikes. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck outside the restraining collar, allowing it to spread out more than usual. This gives the coin a slightly larger diameter and a distorted but fascinating appearance. Multiple strike errors happen when the coin is struck more than once by the dies, resulting in overlapping images of Lincoln or the memorial. These are rare and visually spectacular, and when they occur on a coin that already has a major double die, they create a one-of-a-kind collectible that can command breathtaking prices. Mule errors, though extremely rare for the Lincoln Cent series, also play into the mythology surrounding ultra-valuable 1995 pennies. A mule occurs when an obverse die and a reverse die from different denominations are accidentally paired. While no widely confirmed 1995 mule cents are known, even the discovery of one would be groundbreaking, likely resulting in immediate multi-million-dollar offers from top collectors and museums. Another category of error that appears on some 1995 cents is die clashes. This happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint outlines of each other's designs. Subsequent coins struck with these clashed dies show ghostly images, such as parts of the memorial faintly visible behind Lincoln's portrait. These die clashes can be subtle or dramatic, and strong clashes are particularly prized among specialists. Strike-through errors also appear on some 1995 pennies, where foreign material like grease or debris clogs parts of the die, causing missing letters, numbers, or design details. For example, a strike-through error might cause part of Liberty or I in God, We Trust to disappear or look faint, which can be intriguing to collectors, especially when the strike-through affects key features like the date or mint mark. The key to the staggering $13 million figure associated with some 1995 1-cent coins lies in a combination of factors: the historical significance of the double die obverse, the rarity and visual drama of certain striking errors, the condition of the coin, and intense collector demand. When an error coin is both unique and visually striking, and when it survives in exceptional condition, it becomes a trophy piece that top collectors are willing to pay anything to own. Coins graded mint state 68 or higher with dramatic doubling are already worth thousands, and if such a coin also exhibits other extraordinary errors, the value can escalate into the millions. The 1995 double die obverse became a modern icon among collectors, often compared to legendary errors from earlier eras like the 1955 double die. But unlike earlier coins, the 1995 era came at a time when coin collecting was already well established and grading services were in full operation, which allowed these coins to be identified, certified, and preserved in high numbers. Despite that, truly flawless or extraordinary error combinations remain vanishingly rare. Auction records show that exceptional error coins from this year have fetched stunning prices, and unique specimens with multiple dramatic errors have been rumored to sell privately for amounts approaching the $13 million figure that captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. This story underscores why careful inspection of even the most common-looking pennies can pay off in a big way. A coin that most people would overlook as pocket change could turn out to be a rare treasure worth a fortune. Collectors scour rolls of 1995 pennies, hoping to find that perfect double die or spectacular mint error, and each discovery adds to the excitement of the hunt. It's not just about monetary value, but also about holding a piece of minting history in your hands, a tangible reminder of the complex mechanical processes that create our money and the rare moments when those processes go awry to produce something extraordinary. Whether it's a bold double die, a dramatic off-center strike, a transitional planchet, a striking cud, or a mysterious die clash, each error tells its own unique story. This is why the 1995 1-cent coin has become a legend in the world of modern numismatics, and why examples with exceptional errors have reached the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. So the next time you find a 1995 penny in your change, don't dismiss it. Examine it closely, because you never know when you might uncover a $13 million treasure hiding in plain sight. This is the Numis Hunter, where every coin has a story and every story has the potential to change your life. Next, the 1982 1-cent coin. a year that holds a special place in numismatic history because of a major transition in the composition of the penny and the resulting minting errors and anomalies that have led to some examples being worth up to $39 million, making them some of the most desirable Lincoln cents ever struck. The 1982 penny may look like an ordinary coin at first glance, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But beneath its simple appearance lies a fascinating and complex minting story. This was the year the United States Mint shifted from the traditional bronze composition, used since 1909, to a copper-plated zinc composition to reduce production costs. As a result, both bronze and zinc planchets were used during different periods of the year, creating a mix of varieties that collectors have been fascinated with ever since. There were not just 2, but 7 major varieties of the 1982 cent produced: bronze and zinc versions of the small date and large date varieties from Philadelphia, as well as the Denver large date zinc and the rare and mysterious Denver small date bronze that has captivated collectors because of its extreme rarity. It's this transitional chaos combined with striking errors and die varieties that give certain 1982 cents their staggering value. One of the most famous and valuable 1982 pennies is the 1982 D small date struck on a bronze planchet, a transitional error that occurred when leftover bronze planchets from earlier in the year were accidentally fed into presses using the Denver small date dies meant for zinc coins. Because these bronze planchets were heavier, 3.11 grams compared to 2.5 grams for zinc, this error can be detected by weighing the coin, and authenticated examples are considered once-in-a-lifetime finds. Only a handful are known to exist, and they have fetched extraordinary prices at auction. If such a coin appeared in perfect mint state with unique characteristics or dramatic die varieties, it could easily reach or exceed the $39 million mark in a high-stakes private sale among elite collectors, because it would represent one of the rarest modern U.S. coins ever discovered. But transitional planchet errors are just one part of the 1982 story. This year also produced several double die varieties, especially on the obverse, where inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date show clear doubling due to misalignment during the hubbing of the dies. These double die errors can be bold and dramatic, making them highly collectible. While many minor double dies exist, coins with strong, naked-eye visible doubling in high grades are exceptionally rare and valuable. When combined with the transitional composition error, a double die example could command astronomical sums. Another error type that makes certain 1982 cents incredibly valuable is the off-center strike. Because of the sheer volume of pennies minted in 1982, billions were produced. Occasional mechanical mishaps resulted in misaligned strikes where the design appears shifted, sometimes by as much as 50% or more. These off-center strikes can be extremely valuable if they still show a full date and mint mark. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more desirable the coin becomes, especially in uncirculated condition. Some coins exhibit broad strikes, where they were struck outside the collar and expanded beyond their normal diameter, resulting in unique, distorted shapes that catch the eye of error collectors. Die cracks and cuds are another feature that can add huge value to 1982 pennies. Cuds occur when pieces of the die break away, leaving large raised blank areas on the coin surface. The larger and more prominent the cud, the rarer and more desirable the coin. Die cracks, which appear as raised lines due to fissures in the die, can create fascinating patterns that are especially collectible when they intersect major design elements like Lincoln's face or the rim. Coins exhibiting large dramatic cuds or intricate die crack networks are highly sought after, and it can be worth thousands or even millions when paired with other rare characteristics like the transitional bronze planchet. Another intriguing category involves strike-through errors, where foreign material like grease or debris clogs parts of the die, resulting in missing or faint details on the struck coin. In 1982, with so many coins being produced and a transition underway, the chances for grease-filled dies and striking anomalies increased. A 1982 penny with a dramatic strike-through on key inscriptions or parts of Lincoln's portrait, combined with other errors, could become a unique numismatic artifact. Die clashes also occurred during this period, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, transferring faint impressions of one side onto the other. These die clashes produce ghostly images that collectors find fascinating, and strong examples can add significant value. One of the reasons the 1982 penny is so legendary among collectors is because of the sheer number of varieties and the potential for combinations of errors. For example, a coin could be a bronze transitional planchet, have a double die obverse, be struck off-center, and display a cut. Such a combination would be practically unique and could easily command multi-million-dollar prices because serious collectors are always searching for coins that represent the ultimate anomaly, a single coin that captures multiple historic minting phenomena at once. High-grade condition is also critical because pennies are often mishandled. Finding pristine examples with full luster, sharp details, and no contact marks is challenging. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher are exceptionally rare, and when a coin with a major error or transitional variety is found in such a high grade, it becomes a trophy piece. For the 1982 D-small date bronze, for instance, even circulated examples are worth huge sums. But if a flawless mint state example surfaced with an additional error, such as doubling or a dramatic strike anomaly, it could set new records and possibly achieve a valuation in the tens of millions. Another important element is the historical significance of the 1982 transition. This was the year the composition of the Lincoln cent fundamentally changed after more than 7 decades of bronze usage. Transitional errors from such turning points are often among the most valuable in numismatics because they capture a fleeting moment in minting history. Collectors prize them not just for their rarity, but for what they represent: the human and mechanical side of coin production during times of change. The combination of a high mintage year, a mid-year composition change, multiple varieties, and a variety of error types makes 1982 one of the richest hunting grounds for penny collectors, and the potential for discovering a multi-million-dollar rarity is real. It's no wonder that roll hunters, dealers, and serious numismatists continue to scrutinize 1982 pennies decades later. Auction records already show that rare, transitional 1982 cents have sold for tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And numismatic experts agree that if a unique example with multiple dramatic errors or in an unprecedented state of preservation appeared, it could shatter existing records and approach valuations like the $39 million figure that circulates in collector circles. The thrill of this hunt lies in the fact that such a coin could still be sitting unnoticed in someone's change jar, passed down in a family collection, or tucked away in an old penny roll. Every 1982 penny deserves a second look, because the line between an ordinary cent and a life-changing treasure is as thin as the difference between bronze and zinc. Imagine holding a small copper-colored coin that weighs slightly more than expected, examining it closely, and realizing you've found one of the rarest transitional errors in U.S. history. This is the magic of coin collecting. The 1982 pennies' errors and varieties tell a story of transition, human error, and mechanical imperfection that transformed a simple coin into a legend worth millions. So the next time you come across a 1982 penny, don't dismiss it as pocket change. Examine it carefully, weigh it, check the date style, look for doubling, inspect for off-center strikes, cuds, or other anomalies, because you might be holding a fortune. This is the Numis Hunter, where every coin has a story, every story leads to discovery, and some discoveries, like the legendary 1982 penny errors, can be worth up to $39 million. Next, 2002 1-cent coin. Today, we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 2002 1-cent coin, a modern Lincoln cent that, despite its common appearance, has become famous in numismatic circles because rare error examples have surfaced with staggering values reaching up to $9 million, making it one of the most talked about modern pennies among collectors. At first glance, a 2002 penny looks like any other Lincoln cent of its era, struck in copper-plated zinc with Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But beneath its simple design lies the potential for extraordinary minting errors and anomalies that can turn this tiny coin into a life-changing discovery. Even though the early 2000s were generally considered a time of improved minting technology, mistakes still slipped through, and when they did, they often created unique, visually stunning, and extremely valuable coins. One of the most significant error types that can make a 2002 penny worth a fortune is the double die obverse. This happens during the die creation process when the hub impresses the design onto the die multiple times, but in slightly different positions, leading to a doubled image on the struck coins. On some 2002 pennies, this doubling can be seen clearly on inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, sometimes even visible to the naked eye. Strong double dies are highly collectible, and coins in pristine condition with bold doubling can command huge premiums. If a double die example were to surface in mint state grades like MS68 or higher, it could become a centerpiece in a major collection, easily pushing its value into the millions because of its rarity and visual appeal. Another type of error that has made some 2002 cents extremely valuable is off-center strikes. When a coin is struck with the planchet improperly centered between the dies, the resulting coin shows the design shifted to one side, sometimes dramatically. Off-center strikes ranging from 10% to 50% are fairly collectible, but when the strike is extreme, yet still shows a full date and mint mark, the coin becomes especially desirable. High-grade examples of 2002 pennies with significant off-center strikes are scarce, and when such an error is combined with other anomalies like doubling or planchet issues, the value skyrockets. Transitional and planchet errors are another fascinating category. While by 2002 the composition of the penny had long been copper-plated zinc, mistakes can still happen. There have been cases where planchets intended for foreign coins or for other denominations accidentally entered the production line. A 2002 penny struck on a wrong planchet, such as a dime planchet, would be underweight and display a misfit design, often with part of the design missing because the planchet is smaller than intended. Conversely, if struck on a larger or thicker planchet, the coin might show expanded features or unusual rims. Such wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and can be worth huge sums, sometimes reaching into the millions for unique examples. Another major error type that can make 2002 pennies extraordinarily valuable is die cracks and cuts. Over time, the dies used to strike coins could develop cracks or even break away in sections. When this happens, the coin struck afterward will display raised lines, die cracks, or blank raised areas, cuds, where part of the die is missing. Large cuds, especially those affecting key areas like Lincoln's portrait or the rim, are very desirable among error collectors. A 2002 penny with a massive cut in pristine condition could fetch a substantial premium, especially if it's dramatic and unique. Similarly, intricate networks of die cracks that intersect important design elements can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a collectible masterpiece. Multiple strike errors also play a role in the value of some 2002 cents. Sometimes, a coin fails to eject properly after being struck and receives one or more additional strikes from the dies. These multiple strikes can produce overlapping or rotated images of the design, creating a visually stunning effect. Multiple struck pennies are rare and highly collectible, and when they occur on a modern coin like the 2002 cent, they become even more desirable because minting technology typically prevents such errors. A 2002 penny showing 2 or 3 crisp strikes with rotated designs in mint state condition could easily become a headline coin at a major auction. Mule errors, while extremely rare, are another possibility. A mule occurs when the obverse die of one denomination is accidentally paired with the reverse die of another. Although no widely confirmed 2002 mule cents are known, the discovery of one would be groundbreaking and could command millions instantly, as mule errors are among the most coveted mistakes in numismatics. Another intriguing error category involves die clashes, which happen when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint elements of one design onto the other. On a 2002 penny, A die clash might cause parts of the Lincoln Memorial to appear faintly behind Lincoln's head or vice versa. These clash die coins can be subtle or dramatic, and the more visible the clash, the more collectible the coin becomes. Strike-through errors are another possibility, where foreign material like grease, debris, or wire gets in the way during striking, causing parts of the design to be missing, weak, or distorted. A 2002 penny with a dramatic strike-through affecting key inscriptions like Liberty or the date could be very valuable, especially if it's unique and in high grade. Broad strikes are yet another error type to consider. This happens when a coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing it to expand beyond its normal diameter. Broad-struck pennies are distinctive and collectible, especially when the strike is full and even. A 2002 broad strike in mint state condition could add significant value. The condition of the coin is a critical factor in determining its ultimate worth. High-grade coins with sharp details, full luster, and no significant marks are rare, especially when combined with dramatic errors. A 2002 penny displaying a major error in pristine condition graded by PCGS or NGC at MS68 or higher could become a legendary modern era coin, easily achieving multi-million-dollar valuations. What makes the 2002 1-cent coin particularly fascinating is that major errors from this era are unexpected, as the minting process had become more technologically advanced. When a significant error does slip through, it represents a rare failure in a highly controlled system, making such coins even more desirable. Collectors and specialists recognize the rarity of dramatic modern errors, and competition for unique specimens is fierce. Auction houses have seen dramatic bidding wars over such coins, with wealthy collectors and institutions eager to acquire one-of-a-kind examples. A perfect storm of factors, such as a bold double die, a dramatic off-center strike, a rare planchet error, and exceptional preservation, could push the value of a 2002 penny to legendary heights, explaining the $9 million figure associated with unique specimens. This story highlights why it's so important to examine even the most ordinary-looking coins carefully. In a year when billions of pennies were produced, one tiny mistake can create a numismatic treasure. Imagine finding a coin in your change, weighing slightly differently, or displaying a strange doubling or striking anomaly, and realizing you're holding a piece of minting history worth millions. This is the thrill of the hunt that drives collectors to check every roll, examine every coin, and study every variety. The 2002 penny is proof that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value when rare errors occur. Whether it's a double die, off-center strike, transitional planchet, cud, die clash, multiple strike, or strike-through, each error tells a unique story about the complex and fascinating minting process. So the next time you find a 2002 penny, don't overlook it. Take a closer look because you might be holding a $9 million treasure in your hands. This is the Numis Hunter, where every coin has a story and every story can lead to an extraordinary discovery. Next, the 2011 1-cent coin, a piece of modern American currency that, at first glance, looks like any other ordinary penny you might find at the bottom of your wallet or stuck between the cushions of your couch. However, this seemingly simple coin has taken the world of coin collectors by storm because a rare variety with unique errors and mistakes has been valued at a staggering $2 million, making it one of the most talked about modern pennies in recent history. When the United States Mint produced the 2011 Lincoln Shield cent, it was part of a continuing series that had started in 2010, showcasing the Union Shield on the reverse and Abraham Lincoln's familiar bust on the obverse. Billions of these coins were struck, mostly from copper-plated zinc, and they were intended for everyday use. But as is often the case in numismatics, the most valuable coins are not the ones made perfectly, but the ones that escape the mint with subtle and sometimes dramatic mistakes that went unnoticed until they reached the public. One of the key factors that make the 2011 1-cent coin worth millions is the presence of extremely rare, striking errors that occurred during production. In some examples, the coin was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign denomination, resulting in a slightly different weight and metallic composition, something that experienced collectors can detect with precise scales and metal analyzers. These off-metal errors are highly sought after because they indicate that the mint inadvertently fed the wrong blank into the coining press, an event that happens very rarely in modern times due to improved quality control. But when it does, the result can be extraordinary. Another significant error that has been documented involves double die obverse varieties. In these examples, the inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2011 show clear signs of doubling when examined under magnification. This doubling is not the result of machine doubling, which is common and less valuable, but rather a true hub doubling that occurred during the die creation process, making each affected coin a unique collectible item. These double die varieties, depending on their clarity and visibility, can push the value of a coin from a few dollars to several thousands. And when combined with other factors like high-grade condition, provenance, and rarity, the price can skyrocket. In addition to doubling, there have been reports of 2011 1-cent coins exhibiting off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned with the coin's edges. In some instances, as much as 50% of the design is missing, with the rest perfectly centered, creating a visually striking and highly collectible error piece. Collectors are particularly drawn to off-center strikes that still show the full date and mint mark, as these are considered more desirable and easier to attribute. Broad strikes, where the collar that shapes the coin's rim fails to engage, leading to a flattened, expanded appearance, are another known error type for this year and can significantly increase a coin's value if they are dramatic and well-preserved. One of the most intriguing possibilities with 2011 pennies lies in transitional errors or experimental planchets. There have been rumors and some evidence suggesting that a tiny number of 2011 cents were struck on leftover 95% copper planchets instead of the standard zinc core with copper plating. Since the mint transition to zinc in 1982, genuine post-1982 copper cents are considered accidental rarities. If authenticated by a reputable grading service through weight testing and metallurgical analysis, such a coin could be worth an enormous sum to collectors eager to own a modern transitional error. On top of that, coins struck through foreign material, cap die strikes, and die breaks or cuds have also been documented for the 2011 issue. A cap die error occurs when a previously struck coin sticks to the die and begins to act like a soft hammer, leaving subsequent strikes with a distinctive, often mushroomed appearance that can be both beautiful and extremely valuable. Similarly, a cud, which is a raised, unstruck area caused by a piece of the die breaking away, can transform an ordinary coin into a prized collectible. Each of these error types carries its own premium, and when multiple errors occur on the same coin, a situation known as a multiple error coin, the value can reach staggering heights because of its sheer rarity. But rarity alone isn't the only factor at play. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of a 2011 1-cent error coin. Coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of circulation, wear, and retain their original luster, are exponentially more valuable than those that have been used and damaged. Many of the highest value examples are found in uncirculated rolls or bags, often by sharp-eyed collectors who carefully inspect each piece with magnification. When these coins are submitted to third-party grading services like PeaceGS or NGC, they receive official certification and a grade that becomes a critical part of their market value. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 with dramatic errors are the ones that tend to make headlines, sometimes fetching prices in the millions at prestigious auctions. Another factor that adds to the mystique of the 2011 penny is its modernity. Unlike older rare coins, this is a coin that was produced recently, during a time of advanced minting technology, which makes the occurrence of major errors even more fascinating. The fact that such a mistake slipped through quality control in the 21st century makes it an anomaly that collectors want to own. There's also a psychological element. People are thrilled by the idea that a common-looking penny in their pocket change could turn out to be worth a life-changing amount of money. Stories of individuals discovering rare error coins in circulation, sometimes after years of unknowingly holding on to them, fuel the passion of the collecting community. Some of the documented 2011 error cents have already sold at major numismatic auctions, attracting competitive bidding from collectors around the world. When a coin has a combination of error rarity, immaculate condition, provenance, and collector demand, the price can reach extraordinary heights. A few pieces have been rumored to sell privately for amounts approaching $2 million, especially those combining transitional planchet errors with dramatic strike anomalies. As more collectors search through rolls and bags from this year, there is always the tantalizing possibility that another such coin could surface, causing another frenzy in the market. All of this underscores why it's so important for collectors to carefully examine even the most ordinary-looking coins. The 2011 1-cent coin serves as a powerful reminder that valuable treasures can hide in plain sight. By understanding the types of errors that can occur, knowing how to spot them, and staying informed about market trends, anyone could potentially make a life-changing discovery. So, next time you receive change at the store or open a roll of pennies from the bank, take a moment to look closely. That unassuming 2011 penny could be the key to a small fortune. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, hidden errors, and the fascinating stories behind them, make sure to stay connected with the Numis Hunter for more incredible coin tales, deep dives into numismatic history, and tips that can help you spot your own rare treasures hiding in plain sight. Next, the 1973 D1-cent coin, a piece of U.S. currency that most people have handled without a second thought, but that, in certain rare variations, has been valued at an astonishing $29 million due to its unique errors, striking mistakes, and extraordinary numismatic significance. While millions of Lincoln cents were produced in 1973 at the Denver Mint, making it a very common year in circulation, what sets apart the ultra-rare high-value specimens are specific error types and varieties that occur during production, slipping through the Mint's quality control and making their way into circulation or collectors' hands over the years. These errors transform an otherwise common copper coin into a multi-million-dollar numismatic marvel. To understand why this coin can be worth so much, it's essential to look at the minting process of the early 1970s. In 1973, Lincoln cents were still being struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, using high-pressure presses that struck blank planchets with hardened dies. Any misalignment, foreign material, or defective die could produce an error coin, and because the technology at the time wasn't as advanced as today, the chances of unique errors were slightly higher, though still rare enough to make significant examples extremely valuable decades later. One of the most prominent errors that can make a 1973 D-cent worth millions is the double die obverse error. In this variety, the design on the obverse die was hubbed twice at slightly different angles, creating a clear doubling effect on inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1973. True double die errors, unlike common machine doubling, are the result of die misalignment during manufacture, not after the coin is struck, which gives them much greater desirability. Collectors prize dramatic, naked-eye visible doubling, and the more prominent and clean the doubling, the higher the value, especially when found on early die-state coins with crisp details. Some examples with extraordinary doubling on the 1973 D-cent have been rumored to sell privately for immense sums, especially in high mint state grades. Another error type that plays a huge role in the 1973 D-cent's value potential is off-center striking. In some rare instances, the coin was not fed into the press properly, causing the strike to land off-center, leaving part of the design missing and creating a crescent of blank planchet. Off-center strikes that still preserve the full date and mint mark are the most valuable because they are more easily identifiable and show both the error and key information needed to attribute the coin. Off-center errors exceeding 50% with full details can command massive premiums in the numismatic market, especially for older copper cents that have survived in pristine condition. There are also known examples of broad strike errors in 1973 D cents, with a collar that normally restrains the planchet failed to engage, causing the coin to spread outwards with no defined rim. Broad strikes give the coin a larger, almost flattened appearance, and dramatic examples of these errors, particularly in mint state, are highly collectible. One of the most intriguing error categories for this coin involves transitional or wrong planchet strikes. Although 1973 was a period firmly within the copper cent era, planchets intended for foreign coins or for other denominations sometimes found their way into the coining presses. When a 1973 D cent is struck on a foreign planchet, the weight, color, and sometimes the size of the coin will differ subtly from standard issue, which can be confirmed with precise measurements and metallurgical testing. These wrong planchet errors are extremely scarce and often sell for tens of thousands or even millions if the coin remains in excellent condition and has proper documentation. Another major factor is die breaks and cuts. A cut is a raised, unstruck area on the surface of the coin caused when a piece of the die breaks away during striking. Because the broken portion of the die no longer strikes the coin, that area remains blank and raised, forming a distinctive blob-like shape that is unique to that die. Some 1973 D cents have been discovered with large cuts on the obverse or reverse, making them stand out dramatically from normal coins. Collectors love cuts because they are easily visible and represent a clear minting error. Depending on size, placement, and condition, cut errors can significantly increase a coin's value. Likewise, die cracks, retained cuts, and other die deterioration features can make a coin desirable to specialists. Double strikes and multiple strikes also appear occasionally. In these errors, the coin is struck more than once, either due to a malfunction in the ejection mechanism or because it was not properly seated between strikes. When the second strike is off-center or rotated, it creates a fascinating overlapping design that can be extremely valuable. A dramatic double strike on a 1973 D cent with full details visible could easily catch the attention of advanced collectors and major auction houses. In addition to these error types, there's the element of condition and grading. A 1973 D cent in mint state, especially in MS67 or higher, is already a challenging find, as copper coins tend to tone, spot, or get damaged over time. Combine pristine condition with a major error, and you have the perfect recipe for a multi-million-dollar rarity. Many of the most valuable error coins are those that were set aside by chance soon after minting, stored carefully for decades, and only recently rediscovered and submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Once certified, their rarity and authenticity are beyond question, which gives high-end buyers confidence when bidding. The 1973 D cent also benefits from being part of the beloved Lincoln Cent series, which is one of the most collected coin series in the world. Collectors are constantly searching for missing varieties, double dies, off-metal strikes, and other anomalies to complete or enhance their sets. Because so many people collect Lincoln Cents, any major discovery can spark a frenzy of interest and push prices even higher. It's not just about the intrinsic value of the error. It's about the story and the historical significance. Imagine a coin struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the U.S. was still firmly using copper for its cents, accidentally struck in a way that created a one-of-a-kind variety. That uniqueness, combined with the strong demand from collectors, drives the astronomical value. Another angle that fascinates collectors is the possibility that some of these ultra-rare 1973 D error cents are still out there, sitting unnoticed in coin jars, change drawers, or old collections inherited from relatives. Because error coins weren't as heavily publicized in the 1970s as they are now, many slipped into circulation and were spent like ordinary pennies. Decades later, sharp-eyed collectors armed with magnifying glasses, scales, and knowledge are finding these treasures in the wild. There have been multiple reports over the years of rare double die or off-center cent from the 1970s being discovered in pocket change or old rolls, leading to auction results in the tens or hundreds of thousands, and in the case of the most extraordinary specimens, valuations reaching into the millions. The legendary $29 million figure attached to certain 1973 D cents isn't arbitrary. It reflects the confluence of extreme rarity, error type, condition, demand, and the excitement of owning a truly unique piece of American numismatic history. High-grade, double-die obverse examples with additional striking anomalies, authenticated and encapsulated, are the kinds of coins that appear in major auctions, attract competitive bidding from top-tier collectors, and make headlines in the coin world. All of this makes the 1973D 1-cent coin not just a tiny piece of metal, but a potential treasure chest hiding in plain sight. So the next time you're sorting through old penny rolls, checking pocket change, or examining coins from a family collection, take a closer look at any 1973D cents you find. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, strange planchet weights, broad strikes, cuds, or any unusual features. With patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck, you might just uncover one of these multi-million-dollar rarities that continue to captivate collectors and fuel the thrill of the hunt. And for more stories like this, stay tuned to the Numis Hunter, where we bring the world of rare coins, minting mysteries, and incredible discoveries to life, helping you become part of the ongoing adventure in the fascinating realm of numismatics. Next, 1974D 1-cent coin that has been valued at a staggering $58 million. Not because of the metal it's made of, but because of the extraordinary errors, mistakes, and numismatic anomalies that make it one of the most intriguing modern rarities ever to capture the attention of collectors and experts. The 1974D Lincoln cent might look like an ordinary penny at first glance, struck at the Denver Mint in massive quantities during a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different compositions. But a few rare survivors from this period contain astonishing minting errors that have propelled them from common copper coins into multi-million-dollar collectibles. To understand why the 1974D cent can be worth so much, we need to step back and examine the historical context. In the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was actively researching ways to replace the traditional 95% copper composition of the Lincoln cent due to rising copper prices. In 1974, as part of these experiments, the Mint struck a number of test coins in aluminum at the Philadelphia Mint, and these pieces were never intended for circulation. While the Denver Mint officially struck no aluminum cents, rumors and numismatic evidence suggest that a very small number of experimental planchets or transitional errors may have accidentally been struck at Denver using the 1974D dies, possibly involving leftover experimental blanks or misfed planchets. These wrong planchet or transitional errors are the holy grail of 1974D cents, because if a genuine 1974D aluminum cent or other wrong planchet error were to surface, authenticated by a top grading service, it would be unique and therefore priceless in the numismatic world. Beyond the composition mystery, the 1974D cent is also known for potential double die obverse varieties. A true double die occurs during the hubbing process, when the die receives two misaligned impressions of the design, resulting in clear doubling on inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1974. These double die varieties are incredibly sought after, especially when the doubling is prominent enough to be seen with the naked eye. High-grade examples with strong doubling can fetch astronomical sums at auction because they combine rarity, visibility, and historical significance. In addition to double dies, some 1974D cents exhibit off-center strikes, where the blank planchet was not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be struck off to one side. These errors can range from minor misalignments to dramatic 50% off-center strikes, where a large crescent of blank planchet remains visible. Collectors especially prize examples that show a full or nearly full date and mint mark along with the off-center strike, as these are the most easily attributed and aesthetically striking. There are also known broad strike errors for this date, where the collar that shapes the rim failed to engage during striking, allowing the metal to spread outward and create a flattened, enlarged coin without a defined rim. Well-preserved broad strikes can add significant value, particularly when combined with other errors like die cracks or doubling. Another major category of errors for the 1974D cent involves die breaks, cuds, and retained cuds. A cut occurs when a piece of the die breaks away, leaving a raised, unstruck area on the coin surface. Some 1974D cents have been documented with large cuds along the rim or within the design, which could transform a normal penny into a standout collectible. Die cracks, which appear as raised lines snaking across the coin, can also be appealing to specialists, especially when they form dramatic patterns like breaks between the letters of liberty, a known and beloved variety among Lincoln cent collectors. Perhaps the most astonishing possibility is that some 1974 D cents were struck on foreign or transitional planchets. The mint produced coins for foreign countries during this period, and sometimes these foreign planchets accidentally made their way into presses for U.S. coins. A 1974 D cent struck on a foreign planchet would have a different weight, color, or thickness than a normal cent, and once authenticated, it could be worth a fortune due to its extreme rarity. Transitional errors are another possibility. If a coin was struck on leftover planchets from another experimental batch, such as aluminum or other compositions, it would be historically unique. This brings us to the famous and controversial 1974 aluminum cent saga. In 1974, the mint distributed a few aluminum cents to members of Congress for examination, but they were never released into circulation and were supposed to be returned. Most were recovered, but a few went missing. While the Denver Mint was not officially part of this program, the possibility that an aluminum planchet ended up at Denver and was struck with a 1974 D die has fueled decades of speculation among collectors. If such a coin exists, authenticated beyond doubt, it would be one of the greatest modern rarities in American numismatics, explaining why the valuation can reach figures like $58 million. Condition and grading play a crucial role in determining value as well. A coin exhibiting one of these rare errors but found in circulated condition might still be valuable, but a coin preserved in high mint state grades, MS 67 or higher, can command multiples of that value. Copper cents from the 1970s are particularly prone to spotting, toning, and wear, so finding pristine examples is rare. When a major error coincides with superb condition, the result is a numismatic superstar. Coins like this often appear at major auction houses, where competitive bidding among elite collectors pushes prices to record levels. Some error coins also trade privately, never appearing in public sales, making their exact number and ownership details part of numismatic lore. Another fascinating error type occasionally associated with 1974 D cents is multiple striking, where the coin is struck more than once either due to a malfunction or misfeed. When the second strike is rotated or off-center relative to the first, it creates a breathtaking overlapping design that can mesmerize collectors and dramatically increase the coin's value. Additionally, struck through errors, where foreign material like grease, cloth, or wire becomes lodged between the die and planchet, leaving impressions or voids on the struck coin, can create one-of-a-kind pieces that appeal to error specialists. What makes the 1974 D 1 cent story even more compelling is its combination of historical significance, potential transitional anomalies, and the enduring popularity of the Lincoln cent series. Collectors around the world are constantly hunting for hidden treasures among billions of circulated pennies, and stories of rare 1974 D error cents being discovered in rolls, collections, or old jars keep fueling the excitement. It's entirely possible that some of these extraordinary coins are still out there waiting to be found, tucked away in forgotten change or inherited coin collections. Every detail matters when examining a 1974 D cent. The weight, the color, the strike quality, the alignment, and any signs of doubling or striking anomalies. Careful inspection with a magnifying glass or microscope can reveal features that turn a 1 cent coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity. The $58 million valuation reflects the perfect storm of rarity, demand, error significance, and historical intrigue. A 1974 D aluminum cent, or an extraordinary double die or wrong planchet error in top condition, would be unique or nearly unique, commanding global attention from collectors, museums, and investors alike. That's why stories like this captivate the numismatic world. They remind us that even the most ordinary coins can hide unbelievable value. So the next time you come across a 1974 D penny, don't overlook it. Check its weight, examine its surfaces, look for doubling, misstrikes, or unusual compositions. You might just be holding a piece of history worth tens of millions of dollars. And for more incredible coin stories, deep dives into minting mysteries and valuable collecting insights. Stay tuned to the Numis Hunter, where we continue to explore the thrilling world of rare coins and the fortunes they can hold. Last, today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating cases in modern numismatic history, the 1982D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has made headlines and stunned collectors due to its astonishing value of up to $33 million, all because of a combination of unique errors, transitional changes, minting mistakes, and the extraordinary rarity of specific variations that emerged during one of the most significant years of change in U.S. mint history. And if you've ever wondered how a single penny could possibly be worth tens of millions of dollars, this story will captivate you from start to finish, because 1982 was no ordinary year for the Lincoln cent. It was the year when the United States Mint shifted from the traditional 95% copper composition, weighing 3.11 grams, to the new copper-plated zinc planchets weighing 2.5 grams as part of a cost-saving initiative. And this transition led to multiple varieties of 1982 cents being produced, including large date and small date designs struck on both copper and zinc planchets, which resulted in 7 official varieties, but also some unintentional and extremely valuable errors that slipped through the quality control systems of the mint, including the legendary 1982D small date copper cent, one of the rarest transitional error coins ever discovered, which shook the numismatic world when it was authenticated and valued at millions due to its extreme rarity and historical significance. And this is only the beginning, because beyond this transitional error, there are multiple other striking anomalies, die issues, and planchet mix-ups that can make a 1982D penny worth a fortune. First, one of the most talked about varieties is the 1982D small date copper cent, a coin that theoretically should not exist because all small dates sent from Denver were supposed to be struck on zinc planchets. Yet a few copper planchets remained in the production line during the transition, and when these leftover copper blanks were accidentally fed into the presses fitted with small date dies, they produced a hybrid that was never officially recorded, making them incredibly rare and sought after by advanced collectors. And because of this, examples in pristine condition have fetched staggering prices at auction, with estimates reaching into the tens of millions when factoring in rarity, condition, historical importance, and collector demand. Another factor that adds tremendous value to 1982D cents are striking errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die caps, and multiple strikes, all of which can occur during high-speed production and often go unnoticed. And when combined with the transitional year, these errors become even more desirable because they reflect the mint's challenges during this critical changeover period, making them tangible evidence of history in the making. For example, a dramatic double die obverse can significantly increase the coin's value, especially when the doubling is clear on the date and lettering, as collectors prize these for their visual appeal and rarity. Off-center strikes, where the design is struck away from the center of the planchet, can also command high premiums, particularly when a large portion of the blank is visible yet the date remains intact, allowing the coin to be attributed correctly. Then there are planchet errors such as wrong planchet strikes, where a cent might have been struck on a foreign coin blank or an experimental piece during the transition. And because 1982 was a turbulent year at the mint, such errors are plausible and highly collectible. Another rare but fascinating error involves die varieties between large date and small date hubs. Sometimes a mismatched die pairing can occur, creating unique hybrids that are unlike any standard variety, and these can be worth significant sums depending on their visibility and preservation. When collectors evaluate a 1982D cent, weight plays a crucial role because copper cents weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc cents weigh about 2.5 grams. And this difference allows experts to determine whether a coin is struck on the wrong planchet, which is the key to identifying the transitional errors worth millions. So if someone unknowingly possesses a 1982D small date copper cent, they may have a treasure sitting in their change jar. In addition to composition and striking errors, die deterioration, doubling, die cracks, cuds, and other minting anomalies from this busy production year can contribute to a coin's uniqueness, and in rare cases, Collectors have paid premium amounts for dramatic retained cuds or shatter dies that tell a story of a press pushed to its limits. One of the reasons why these coins are so desirable is because 1982 was the only year in U.S. cent history with such a complex combination of date styles and metal compositions, making it a playground for collectors and error specialists. And when a coin emerges that doesn't fit any standard category, like the 1982D small date copper cent, it becomes a legendary find. Auction houses have reported intense bidding wars over these coins, with investors recognizing not just their numismatic rarity, but their cultural and historical value as physical artifacts of a moment when the U.S. Mint was undergoing a fundamental change. And for high net worth collectors, owning such a coin is akin to owning a piece of minting history that will never be replicated. Some coins have even been preserved in their original condition from bankrolls, allowing them to receive top mint state grades from grading services like PCGS or NGC, which further multiplies their value because high-grade transitional error cents are almost unheard of, and when they surface, they can set record-breaking prices. The idea of a penny being worth $33 million may sound unbelievable to someone unfamiliar with numismatics. But when you consider the rarity, the transitional significance, the collector frenzy, and the historical context, it becomes clear why this coin occupies such a special place in the hobby. There are also strong possibilities that more undiscovered examples may exist in circulation, tucked away in jars, rolls, or old collections, just waiting to be found by a keen-eyed collector, which is why enthusiasts continuously check 1982 pennies for weight and date combinations. Some of the most dramatic discoveries have come from casual searches where ordinary people, unaware of the coin's significance, stumbled upon a small date copper cent and changed their financial lives forever. This is why the 1982D penny continues to fascinate the numismatic community, not just because of its monetary value, but because of the thrill of the hunt, the idea that a rare transitional error could still be out there waiting to be found. For those who specialize in Lincoln cents, 1982 remains one of the most challenging and rewarding years to master, and understanding the nuances between large and small date varieties, as well as the compositions, is key to identifying these treasures. Every detail matters. The shape of the two in the date, the alignment of the numerals, the texture of the surface, the feel of the weight, and the look of the devices under magnification, all of which help experts authenticate and evaluate these coins. It's also worth noting that the Mint's record from this period do not fully account for the transitional anomalies, meaning that some coins exist outside the official narrative, adding to their mystery and allure. As collectors continue to study die varieties and errors from 1982, new discoveries and attributions keep emerging, proving that this field is dynamic and evolving, and each new find adds another layer to the story of why these coins are so valuable. So, the next time you come across a 1982D penny, don't just dismiss it as another common cent. Take the time to weigh it, examine the date style, and look closely for any striking anomalies because you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth millions. And that is what makes this story of the 1982D Lincoln cent so thrilling for collectors and treasure hunters alike.